103.9 Sunny FM. Good morning. It's Amber Stone. And in the studio with me, I have Mayor Henry. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me.
So there's so much growth happening in the city. It's so exciting. I've lived here for about a year and a half, and it doesn't even look like the same city. So I can't even imagine what the next couple of years are going to be like. So let's toss it to you. What has it been like from your viewpoint of what the city is turning into?
Well, I've been in Fort Wayne just about all my life. My family has been here for a long time. And you're right. Fort Wayne sat rather dormant for a period of time. But over the last 8 to 10 years, we decided that that was not acceptable to those who lived in Fort Wayne and those who worked in Fort Wayne. So we decided to make a concerted effort on making Fort Wayne just a little bit better place to live. And we started with downtown. And we began to invest ourselves in downtown and also asking the business community to partner with us. And as a result, there's been a lot of things happening. Probably Parkview Field, I would guess, would be recognized as the catalyst for all of that, and the expansion of the Grand Wayne and the redoing of the library, and then it just took off after that.
So let's talk a little bit about one chunk of the city, and that's the riverfront plans. That's exciting. So what can we look forward to?
Well, it really is exciting. A couple of years ago, we hired a consultant to take a look at our rivers. You know, for years, our rivers were kind of our enemy. Every spring, particularly during heavy rains, they would overflow the banks and homes would get flooded, businesses would get flooded, and we'd ask thousands of people to come help us sandbag. Well, over the past, again, 8 to 10 years, if not a little longer, we decided that we could no longer accept that as the norm for Fort Wayne. So we began to build levees and dikes and reroute the water and buy up homes that were in lowlands and let the water just flood that area. So we really tried hard to turn the rivers from an enemy into more of an asset. And as we did that, we hired a consulting firm, as I mentioned, several years ago, and said, you know, if we were to control the rivers, control the water, what could we do to turn these rivers around to make them kind of a point of destination for people in Fort Wayne? And they gave us a report. We passed it around to a lot of different people in the community. They accepted it as something we might want to try as a new initiative. And that's how Riverfront came to be. And we're starting now with phase 1.
Okay. And then also Columbia Street, I heard, is going to go under some reconstruction as well.
Correct. It's commonly known as the Landing, and it's just one street that runs from Harrison to Calhoun. It's not a very used street, and that's one of the reasons that we identified it as a potential area for development. It's a very old street, and old buildings, historic buildings, and we've tried on several occasions over the years to try to make it a place a little more exciting to go and to spend some time. Well, unfortunately, it never took off. There's a number of reasons for that. But now we've identified a group called the Model Group. They're out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and they've been very, very successful in taking streets like this and turning them around into areas that particularly young people enjoy. So they've finished their study. We're now acquiring the money necessary to do the type of development that they've recommended, and we have the private sector stepping in, wanting to invest in those buildings. And my guess is probably sometime in the spring of this year, they'll begin to do something.
That's pretty soon. And then there's also the boutique hotel that I surprisingly I just found out about last night, and that's exciting for the city as well.
Well, there's a number of companies in town who bring executives in. Like Vera Bradley, like Sweetwater Sound, the Ash Complex, Lincoln National Life, just to name a few. And they would like to bring the executives in and stay someplace that's a little special, that maybe is one step up from the norm. So Barbara from Vera Bradley decided that she would like, or the company would like, to invest in something like this. So they've met with some other companies and finally decided on a particular hotel chain that specializes in these type of boutique hotels. They've approached the city about building a hotel like that, and we're very excited that they'd like to do something like that, and we're moving that project along.
So do you see in the next 2 to 5 years that Fort Wayne will turn into a real big tourist city where people will come into our city to visit?
That's our desire. Stay. You know, they already come to Parkview Field. Parkview Field draws, several 100,000 people. every year to baseball games and to other events that are offered at Parkview Field. Well, we're offering now more and more opportunities for people to enter into our downtown area in particular. More restaurants, and now, as we mentioned, perhaps more places to spend the night. They're looking at a number of different entities, the riverfront, the landing, as you mentioned. So we're trying to add more and more attractions downtown to increase the number of people. My goal is to have several 100,000 more people come downtown.
That's a good goal to have.
You bet.
And then I personally live downtown, and I love to, on social media, be an advocate for downtown, but I have to bring up something, and hopefully there's a plan for the future. The parking. I'm telling you, I had to race out my elevator to beat the parking meter guy the other day. So is there a parking pass in the future, credit card meters, an app, anything that downtown living
credit card apps and other type of phone apps and the like are going to be coming to our parking meters, yes.
Okay. And do we have a time frame, or is it
actually, I believe the city clerk is looking at this year.
Okay.
In fact, I believe they already have a few sprinkled around town as an experiment on whether or not these would work. And I think they will.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that, because I love our downtown, but the parking sometimes can be a little...
the new Ash parking garage, that holds about 1,000 cars, and we're considering building another one.
Okay.
The parking has always been difficult for Fort Wayne, but actually that's kind of a sign that downtown Fort Wayne is a point of destination because people are complaining that they want more parking. So that's good, actually. Yeah,
sometimes outside of my building I can't find parking, so that is a good sign. Well, thank you for taking some time to be here, and you're feeling better after your surgery?
I am. Thank you very much.
Good. Well, thank you so much, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Same to you.